Good morning. This is Ernie Lewis, the pastor of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, with your morning thoughts. I wanted to talk to you today about Holy Saturday. I know it's been called many things, the Great Sabbath or even Black Saturday. I think they should call it Silent Saturday. Because after Jesus' death, of course, they hurriedly placed his body in that borrowed tomb because sundown on Friday was going to be the Sabbath day. And according to Jewish law, they really couldn't do anything on the Sabbath, and surely there was very little worship that went on during that day. After all, their hopes were dashed. Their dreams had faded away. Surely on that day when they watched Jesus die on the cross, every dream and every plan that they had, it seemed, was gone. And little is spoken of that Saturday, by the way. In Mark chapter 16, it simply says, now, when the Sabbath was passed, it skips over the day completely. So what can we learn from Saturday, which seems so silent and so forgotten, or perhaps any day whenever we feel that God has suddenly gone silent? First of all, we know that God is still on his throne. Perhaps during a time like this pandemic, some people are worried that God has become silent or left them, but he's still there. He is still ruling and controlling. As a matter of fact, today I'm excited because his word is being read more than just in some large church. It's being read in our homes. It's being read on the internet, and we are seeing more and more of God today than we oftentimes do without a pandemic. One of the other things we can learn is that Jesus is still fulfilling scriptures. You know, in Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40, the Bible says, where Jesus said, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. He told his disciples and many who were gathered there, you destroy this temple and in 3 days I will build it again. And many didn't understand. He was talking about his own body. So during this time, Jesus is fulfilling scriptures. And none of the things that had happened were a surprise to him. He knew exactly what was going on, and he was simply fulfilling his promises. We need to read the word today because it is full of God's promises that we need to remember, that we need to focus on, that we need to recognize God is faithful to his promises. Then the third thing I want us to remember today is that Jesus, during this time of Silent Saturday, was preparing for Easter. Isn't that what we need to be doing? You see, Jesus knew that on the next day when he raised from the dead, all of those ladies would gather there at the tomb and he could tell them the exciting news. He would go to Galilee and meet with his disciples. He would tell them the exciting news. He would declare to them his victory as well as their victory and our victory, because that's what the resurrection is going to mean. It's going to mean that all of us one day shall live again even after this life. Jesus knew it was Saturday, but Sunday is coming. And I hope that you know that today too. And I hope that you live by those ideas today. It might be Silent Saturday, but Sunday is coming.